What is going on, everyone? DJ's here with another Advanced Floors by Web replay commentary. So, I know this is my third standard game in a row, but I promise you, you little fog goblins, be patient. There's going to be a lot of fog games in the near future. So, hold your horses. So today I'm bringing y'all Crazy Game. I don't put it in the category of banger quite yet. It's a little more instructional than banger-esque. I've had a lot of bangers in a row. I don't want to overuse the banger name, granted. So I'm showing you guys more of an instructional video on the map Vadum of Valhalla. It's in the global leagues. It's been for a while. It's like an old change up on the old map Seashoal Ocarina, very similar to the other one, a little slightly bigger. I like this one better actually. So it's a pretty fun map. Still in the global leagues. You guys can get better at it. If you guys argue with me about Vadum, you're Vadum, so let's not talk about that. Anyway, so let's first examine this map right here. So I've played on this map before back in like January, I think. This map has been in the rotation a long ass time. And the first thing, my mistake here is, you see this base right here, your weak side base. See, it's one base and then you have the two bases. So it's like two base versus one base kind of set up with an airport in dead center in the middle. So it's kind of a two base, one base kind of deal, but you know, you can spread even. The thing is, on your weak side, my first inclination is mech spam, because you like can go through a mountain and you can like reinforce over there. If you take away one thing from this video, is that mech spam is not good on this map. I know it seems, I feel like if you see a mountain next to a base, it feels almost like natural. It feels like primal instinct to like build a mech. Like, I bet if you like took a caveman and like teleported him here and like showed him this, he'd build a mech like immediately, and then he'd like smash the computer with his club or some shit. But like it seems good, but it's really not good. I can show you some clips about how bad it is later, but like, don't build a mechs here. Mech spam just isn't that great. This is a very tanky map, a lot of tanks. Artillery is not that great here. There's some like choke points, but they're very defensive choke points. Not really any offensive choke points that you can really utilize artillery well on this map, in my personal opinion. So it's a very, a simple tank map. Copters are pretty good too, just a simple tank map. And what I like about it is that you can get two comm towers. So you get one over here and one over here. So you can get 20%, or you can get 3 comm towers if you're really ambitious and take one of your opponents. Like, this map is sort of, I also enjoy this map because it's kind of like the 2 base. You don't get the comm tower at first. Usually like the green player might get it, and then red eventually gets this one. And over here it goes the same. Red might start off with the comm tower, but then loses it to green. So it's like a comm tower handshake, if you will. And then you can later get a T-copter to spend it and get this extra comm tower and port over there. Some people, like Rivendell, they don't invest in that T-copter early because it gets rid of the tempo of the fights, and sometimes you need every single last Advanced Wars buckaroo right at that moment to not invest 5k into a T-copter and an infantry as well to throw off into that little island over there. So I understand a lot of people don't build T-copters. I build one on this map. I'm more of a long game kind of person. I go for the long game. If it stalls out, I'm very comfortable. But if you're going for the smash, if you're going for the throat, then you probably just want to forego the T-copter and just build B-copter tanks. That's all you really need, and just start smashing things. So this map is very straightforward. We'll go into more during the game itself, but very tanky map. Typically, it's 2 base versus 1. You don't want to go in the middle. That's another key thing about this map. There's 2 properties. They're both within 1 base turn, so you don't. If you take your opponent's property, you're not going to be able to hold it. It's pretty much impossible. Like, if you try to grab this property, it's within 2 bases right there. It's easy. This property over here, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it's not quite 1 turn away, but like, think about it. You're just not holding these 2 bases. So if you're the red player, just like take these 2 bases and chill. If you're green player, take these and chill. You want to focus on your strong side. As green, I want to take all these properties from red. As red, I want to take all these properties from green. And that's usually what happens to the winner. However, if you focus on the middle, then you're not going to secure all the properties over here, and you're going to lose the properties over here, and you might get 1 property in the end in the middle. So first things first, mechs are pretty bad on this map, even as Ad or even as Cole, who get the movement bonus. Maybe you build 1 if you're feeling feisty. Any more than 1 and you're going nuts. And second, like, don't go hard in the middle on this map. It's not worth it. Your tanks will be out of position, and then there's this pipe seam and pipe in the way, so you can't really front shift that easy. So if you're in the middle, you're kind of like stuck between the pipes, and you're like, what do I do now? Like, you're kind of cut off from where the battles actually matter, where these properties are all contested, and they're pretty much up for grabs. So don't go in the middle, don't mech spam. Anyway, let's talk about these players right here. So our first player today is Super Potato. And he's a Chinese player, I believe. He's an old school Advanced Wars by Web player. I went to his like account and it showed him winning a bunch of tournaments back in like 2019 or some crap. So he's been around a while. He's old school, old guard. Pretty good player. I've seen him play a few games. He doesn't play very often, but he's pretty good when he does play. He takes his time. All around solid player, 1350, I'd say thereabouts. Yeah, nothing but good stuff to say about this guy. On the other hand, Lylian, plays even less frequently than Super Potato. Like, comes out of the like clockwork and then like wins games. Like this person, I think the record prior to this game was 45-1. So 1 loss and 45 wins. And they don't really play that often. They just come out, take 1 game at a time, maybe 2 games at a time, just win them, disappear for a few months, and then win some more. Like it's very strange. I don't, they're very mysterious, which I kind of like. And this person's like near 1500, I want to say. I think they're like a hair shy of 1500. So despite Super Potato being top 10 in freaking standard at like 1350, Lylian has a 150 point lead thereabout in points. So this is still like a pretty uneven match in terms of rating. However, I believe Super Potato, if he played more games, he'd probably be much higher. But yeah, these are two. I think Lylian's also Chinese. I'm telling you, these guys are good. They're very quiet. They don't say much in the Advanced Wars Discord server, but when they play with a certain intensity and they play very well and very calculated, very precise. So it's a joy to watch these guys play. So, and in terms of the CO matchup, I picked Cole on this map typically because artillery are not that great as Jake. I don't really see decent defensively, but there's so many roads. Like Adder and Cole are probably the big picks. I like Cole not because of the day-to-day power, because 10% on a road, I'm not going to fight on a road for 10%, but during a superpower, when you get the 30% plus the 10% from the boost of using the power, that makes a difference. That enables a lot of one-hit KOs, tanks attacking infantry on plains or maybe even forest, one-hit KO. A lot of one-hit KOs open up there when you're attacking from roads. So I really like Cole for his power and superpower on this map. Adder is probably just as viable, maybe slightly worse, but this is one of the few maps where I feel like Cole has a lot of viability. So don't be afraid to use Cole on this map. The roads, like I said, you don't use it for the day-to-day. Don't attack from a road without a power just for the sake of it. Also, another thing, when you have 2 comm towers and you have the Cole bonus, that's a 50% bonus attacking from a road. You can get a lot of weird, wonky one-hit KOs that you would never think you would get. So just beware. When it comes to 2 comm towers, I also think that movement COs, when there's 2 comm towers, it benefits them more. Adder with 20%, Cole with 20%, using their powers and stuff, that it can get pretty scary. So I'm with the movement CO. So I think Super Potato has the lead in terms of the CO pick on this map. Jake is not what I normally would pick on this map, although he is my default CO, I would say. Anyway, without further ado, let's get into the match. It's entertaining. Mr. Potato Head starts off at the top over there with the red players. So another thing you might notice on this map, base skips are semi-viable on this map. There is a build where you actually do base skip. Not on this turn. It's typical infantry builds. Another thing, you usually want to get this property here first, and then you go over here and start this chain over here. You can get this property and then this comm tower. That's basically why red usually gets this property here, or the comm tower first, and green gets that one, because you have a nice chain going on, capture chain rather. Excuse my Advanced Wars lingo. When I say chain, I mean capture chain. So you want to get this property first. You don't want to go for the middle properties. Go for the middle properties last. Like I said, middle is the least important, least of your worries. I mean, he went for it like there. I probably would have even waited maybe even longer than that. Yeah, so right here, red could have built a tank right there on the weak side, or in the strong side over there, build a tank and just skip 1 infantry. I know I say cardinal sin, woo! I mean, it's true. Don't base skip for the most part. But on this map, forsaking 1 early infantry to get a lot of pressure and maybe stop these caps from green, has a lot of viability. So in some instances, I think it's viable. I don't think it's better necessarily. I think it just has merit to it. So I think base skip here is not better, but it's just as good, I would say. I don't think it's one way or the other. Super Potato playing very casual, pretty normal. Building tank on the strong side. That's typically when you have first turn advantage, you build on your strong side so you can dictate where the battle is. You want to dictate the battle is going to happen on your strong side and their weak side. Pretty normal stuff. And then green typically has to build a tank on the weak side, or else you have like this sort of like chess game where it's like one castle's on the queen side, one castle's on the king side, and you base rush. But typically, yeah, you have a refusion by a defensive tank on the weak side. So playing into red's hands is pretty nice. So nothing too wonky so far. Like I said earlier, it looks like red's going to get this comm tower early, and looks like green's probably going to get this comm tower. Although red is rushing towards this comm tower at the speed of the light with that infantry over there. I think for went this cap over here and just going to either interrupt that comm tower or get in himself. And the tank's over there too, so going really hard on the strong side over here. May get some tempo with the comm tower. Not building a tank chain though, opting to go one weak side tank, one strong side tank. I have mixed feelings about this. I usually like to do a tank chain on my strong side, but there's some viability in that. Maybe he's a little afraid of the center, perhaps. Only has one infantry there, whereas green has two. Maybe that's what was kind of drawing him towards. I mean, threatening a cap over there. If you cap over here with red, your cap will be interrupted to interrupt his cap on yours. So I understand a little fear, but personally playing here, I'm not afraid of the middle at all. Like, that's the least of my worries. So smart move here by green, just ignoring that comm tower. Some people, like, if you're mid-cap there, you might want to take priority of the comm tower, but there's a 2-hit KO coming up with that tank, so it's just not worth it. So red is in position, capping the comm tower over here. That tank does not reach this other tank, and green will only get one first strike off on that infantry if he chooses to do so. It's his weak side, so sometimes people, depends on your play style, some people like to interrupt this cap here, others like to retreat and cap other things and do other things at the same time. The more I play, the more defensive and passive I get when I'm facing a strong side. But some people might want to delay that comm tower for a couple turns. But these days, I get a little more passive. I think green does the same. He's a very patient, high-level player. Values each of his infantry. Losing an infantry to save 2 turns of a comm tower, typically not worth it. But green does a really smart move right here. Like I said earlier, remember when I said the middle kind of sucks? Now he's making red pay for going the middle. He's like, yeah, you can't front switch. Like, I'm blocking you. You cannot go this way. You cannot go that way. There's a pipe scene. You have to go all the way around here to do something. Whereas green can just shift his tank up here immediately in the fight. Who gives a shit about the middle? Yeah, the tank, okay, maybe get a hit off on one infantry if he's out of position, but, like, that's it. This tank is in quarantine. This tank isn't going to be doing shit, I can already tell. I don't even remember watching this game. This tank isn't going to be doing shit for a while, I don't think. Until that pipe seems busted and this tank, like, it's just not pretty. That's why you don't go tanks in the middle. He should have went around like that. But, you know, you learn from your mistakes. I think I did the same in the match I lost on this map. So, you know, I feel for him. And look right here. Yeah, green didn't even go for the cap. He's like, you know what? I'll let you have 2 comm towers. And he does. Cole, 2 comm towers. That's pretty scary. I don't know about you. But when I face someone with 2 comm towers, you know, it's a little alarming. Some people like to think that it's the end of the world. It is if you're against Javier, but if you're against a normal player and you give them both comm towers, it is not the end of the world. It's just very scary. So there's no reason to resign, but you try to avoid it if you can. So red doing a great job with the pressure over here. Now has a tank chain. Green forming a tank chain over here. Multiple tank chains. Two on each side over here. But red's middle tank out of position. Now shifting over here. See, going over here so it can actually get back in the fight. Join this chain. Dunk, dunk, dunk. So 3 chains in a row. Get the little triangle, the Triforce over here of tanks. Pretty nice setup. A lot better than going around over here. So he's basically no tanks, anything on this side over here, where green is about to have 2. So these infantry are going to die. And it's not going to be a pretty death either. This tank's probably going to kill this. This infantry's probably going to kill that. This infantry's going to attack this one there. Those are going to die soon. So, yeah. As I predicted, yeah. It's, like I said, I haven't even watched this game in a while. I remember learning some stuff, but, like, that's why you don't put something in the middle. So red is already paying for the middle price. And green builds an artillery, which I do not agree with. Just being really defensive over here. I mean, their tank can't reach it because this infantry is right there. I don't know why it has the green thing. It cannot reach it. And it can't reach over there from the tile over there, but just very defensive. I mean, the tank can't see it. It's kind of smart. The artillery covers this over here, but like in actuality, red wouldn't attack there anyway. But interesting. So red has 2 comm towers, so it can't be forgotten about that. Now red needs to build a tank here ASAP and defend these units over here, or else it's going to be a field day. Green's going to start capping that. Green's going to start capping that, capping that, capping that. Everything over here is going to be capped. Look at these 4 little infantry, soon to be dead. 1 with 1 HP versus 6 infantry over here, and a tank, and an anti-air, just in case that copter decides to go over this mountain over there. Like, yeah, red has the tempo. Red has the 2 comm towers. But green is playing the long game here. Green's like, you know what? Like, I know how this goes on this map. He probably has like watched other people play this game. He's like, you know, it's like a handshake. Like, you can have that comm tower. It's cool. Whatever. I'm gonna get this one. Might not have it right now, but it's gonna be mine. And red's like, all right, I have 2 comm towers, but I have to make a big battle before they change hands. Like, this is inevitable, pretty much. You're gonna lose that. But if I can force a battle in the next 3 to 4 turns, does a lot of damage. That's when I can actually be like, you know, fully utilizing the comm tower. And he builds a rocket. So, like I said in my other video, rockets are terrible in fog, but in standard they're pretty decent. I think his idea is plop it right here and then completely lock down the tower. So he just has the tower for the entire game, which is, you know, really big investment. Like if you're like facing a Javier player, maybe just to like defend, but the tower is not that big of a deal. I mean, I guess it covers all 3 of these properties, so maybe it's a worthwhile investment, but you lose a lot of tempo over here. Because now you have these 3 tanks, first 2 tanks and an artillery, and 3 if you count this one over here, and then he's going to build another tank, and you're going to be outnumbered on your strong side. So the cost of that rocket over there is you're going to be outnumbered on your strong side over here. So will it be worth it? Let's see, that rocket's better get some good usage out of it. And as such, realizing he basically ceded the strong side because he put such a heavy investment in the weak side, red is forced to retreat. Very smart, though. A lot of people would continue to go ham over here and try to get some picks and hit some infantry and stuff, not realizing that green is going to overcome you because they're just going to be able to pump out more vehicles than you. So when you invest heavily on one side, you probably want to pull back from the other side, especially in standard play, because they can see what you're doing. If you like invest a lot there, they're like, okay, well, they're not going to have fun on the other side. It's, you know, it's game day. Let's go. So something to be aware of. Now, but red is playing hyper aggressive over here. Going for the middle cap. Like I said earlier, I don't like that. I don't like that at all. The tank is going to get a nice hit off there. I mean, he's covering with some tanks over here, but like, is it worth the 1k income? Like, I mean, it's going to be a 2k swing, but like, I don't think it's worth it, personally. I mean, this copter is going to punish if it goes over there. You know, he makes it look semi-viable in this, but I still don't think it's viable. And then if you fight back, that tank, that artillery is going to blast you. Like, it's so defensive. I don't like artillery here, but you can't really fight back on this tank over here. It's got a free hit off on you. You lost, like, I don't know, like 4k in income or something for that tank hit, and you're about to get a 2k swing. You know, it might be worth it. We'll see. We'll see. I don't like the middle. I made that clear in the first place. I don't like fighting in the middle. We'll see if red can make it work. Right now green's starting to cap this comm tower over here. So red is in danger of losing both comm towers. After gaining both comm towers, really invested in that rockets over there. May be able to stop it with the rockets though. So not all hope is lost on the comm tower front. Neither of them going for the T-copter if you've not noticed. Like I said, I'm a T-copter boy. What can I say? You gotta build the T-copter eventually. You know, it's not just 10% firepower. It's also 1,000 funds. And on a low funds map like this, you're flirting around 20,000 a turn. 29,000's not bad. Or however many. Maybe it's 22,000. I don't know. At certain points, it like makes up chains. Like I think at 23,000, 24,000. 24,000 is the magic number. 2 tanks, copter, infantry. 2 tanks, copter, infantry is a pretty damn good build. 24,000. I don't know what the max is on this map, but at a certain point, you like that extra 1,000 funds. So red's definitely going to interrupt that cap, and he's going to interrupt that cap. What else can he do? So gets that, attacks on the road, and he wants that extra firepower apparently. Yeah, the rocket's going into place. You got to cover it up. I mean, you better cover that up, or else that anti-air is going to one-shot that infantry and go ham on that rockets. So, yeah, not allowing that though, because you can't one-shot this infantry over there and then kill the copter, because the tank won't one-shot. It doesn't have any comm towers. Let me remind you, red has more comm towers. That's why that did so much damage to that infantry over there. Red should be winning all the equalized fights with a 20% firepower bonus. So he should feel comfortable, but he has one single tank over here against 2 tanks over there. I mean, he can build another one and like use his power. He's gonna have overlap. He's gonna have double tank overlap if green does decide to attack that tank over there. But really going heavy on the center. I say it. I'll say it again. I don't like going in the center. I mean, actually, I said it like 10 times. You probably keep a counter for how many times I say it. I do like this utilization of the black boat pushing up an infantry in extra space, though. Pretty cute. But now, green is actually behind in all counts. Behind on comm towers, behind on capping, behind 3K, soon to be 2K once he captures this property over here. But yeah, red's doing a pretty good job in terms of the capture game. Doing better on the comm towers, doing better on the properties in general, and also kind of investing in the middle here. Both of them. Cardinal Sins, like, I need to start handing out this shit like it's nothing. Like, what's all this stuff in the middle? Come on, guys, what are you doing? I don't... I guess it's not a terrible position for this artillery. I don't like artillery here. I kind of like busting this pipe seam, though, as green, like uniting the front so it's really easy to reinforce your weak side, so you can't really reinforce it there. Smart move by green, kind of heads up. A lot of people will probably kill this infantry and try capping. You're not going to cap it next turn. I think I like just killing and weakening the infantry around it first, preparing to cap it next turn instead of rushing to it immediately, you know, securing the area. Think of it like an actual reconnaissance mission. You don't just go in blasting and try to capture a fort. You do reconnaissance, you see what's around, you maybe shoot down some enemies, make sure it's like the coast is clear before you try a full-on assault. It holds true in advanced wars. You don't want to just go in blasting. You want to make sure you weaken the area first. What's one turn, like, in terms of, like, stuff like that? One turn of income, like, this is, like, 10% firepower. You can wait a turn, like, no rush. And I'm going to bet that this infantry does not cap. Yeah, pulls it back. This, like, I feel like, and this guy's a 1500 level player. Like, not everything is dictated by properties and capturing things. I mean, red seems to think that way. But I'm more on the agreement side with Lylian, which I think is good for me because he's a higher level player. I mean, they're probably both better than main standard, but probably they are. But, what the... Man, I lost my train of thought. Double rockets. Oh, Lord, have mercy on my soul. Okay. Well, at least it's not a missiles or some crap like that. Alright, well, we got double rockets. All standard theories out the door. They're both in the center. They both have rockets. This is just not an ordinary sort of setup. Most games do not end up this way. Most high-level games do not end up this way on this map. Typically, it is a brutal battle on both sides over here in the middle. You're like, yeah, you can have your two properties. I can have my two properties. It's cool. But I think green's going to retake this property. Push up with the with the artillery. Push up with the rockets with double coverage from indirects. Like, he's going to cap their property right back. But red's also bringing in his arty. Bringing his arty to the party. Bringing his copter over here, front switch, smart move. See this anti over here. Copters are pretty decent here because you can just fly over the mountains and be free. Soar like a hawk. And he's clumping all his units into a little death ball over here. Looks like he's trying to fortify his strong side again. He's basically let go of his weak side. He's like, you know what? All I really ever wanted was a rockets there. So I'm just going to leave the rockets. Infantry, do whatever you want to do, but the rocket is going to hold down the comm tower. You can cap these two over here. You can cap, well, I don't know. You can do whatever you want, but the rocket is going to defend the comm tower for the most part. So I'm not a terrible move. I kind of like that, actually. I kind of like how it's just like, all right, it was a big investment, but he's going to lock down the comm tower, lock down a 20% firepower advantage over your opponent for a longer period of time. But now he's reinforcing his strong side, as he should have done earlier. And I like that he's not suiciding into that. I mean, he did, actually. He lost one unit, so I take that praise. But now Lylian, yeah, getting those other free kills. But you can really see the lack of comm tower. That would have been a 1-hit KO, or 2-hit KO with a comm tower. A single comm tower, because the Jake's plane bonus. But alas, no comm tower, no guaranteed KOs. Sucks to suck. And green is not going for that yet. Feeling a little hesitant around the 5 tanks, copter, and artillery of red. Understandably so. Super Potato still has a 3k income lead, although he's going to lose it very soon on this corner over here. And green is also doing work over here, so it's probably going to shift in the next 3 turns. I would say Lylian is either even or ahead on the capture game in terms of properties, not for the comm tower. So, getting really defensive though. This is like very strange. You usually don't see this sort of defensive, like weird moon fights, like a crescent-shaped moon in the center like this. This is just bizarre. But I guess at moment's notice, he can blast through this. Well, not moment's notice. It takes 1 rocket hit. Now, it'll take 2 turns to break through that for a surprise. But very strange. Not even threatening to take this comp tower over here. Not threatening this one. Lylian still without a comp tower, but ahead on the unit count at least. Getting some free picks on infantry. Red, what the hell? That's a Mang's infantry right there. There is no. Why would you do that? There is just 0 chance that infantry is going to cap that. There is an absolute 0 chance, and you could use it as a blocker for the rockets. I just don't understand that. What the heck is that? What are you? This guy's balls to the wall. Potato man, what are you doing? The whole purpose was for the tower. This has got to be an all-in right here. Yeah, this has got to be an all-in. He's going all-in. I don't understand that. Okay. Well, let's see what Mr. Potato does. Is this an all-in? I don't see any. Okay. Looks like he's setting up for an all-in, because there is no... Sure, the rockets will kill an infantry, but it's not going to kill a vehicle. Very strange. I was not expecting that. That is also very dumb. That's a suicided unit right there. That's a Mang's infantry. Again, not capturing this time, just going on his little way and shooting at a guy from a road. Yeah, you got a good engagement. You're dead. And then this one heals up. And then you're down even more in the in the unit count measure, which is the most important measure. And then sacks it over here just to preserve a... this one makes sense because it's dead anyway. Might as well fire. So... But Lylian's about to start capping, and he's going to get that comm tower. Now that the whole investment for the rockets, this HQ push doesn't make sense. He's just going all in the center. Man, these guys are... This is like, they're throwing like the cardinal sins out the window. They're like, yeah, center is my favorite, man. I love rockets, dude. Yeah, let's go. So, I don't know what's going on here. I can no longer critique. These guys are better than me, but sometimes, like, it's dumb. Okay, so I understand now. Red wanted to go all in right now before he loses the comm tower over here. He's probably going to lose this comm tower over here, because Red is all in the center. He is funneling all his forces into the center. This is the funnel of death right here. And then Green's going to capture that. Green's going to capture that, and then it's going to swing. So Red has to capitalize right now. So I understand the hurry, but he left a copter just for easy copter range. Getting some charge for that. So he's going to have a power at least, but, kind of interesting. And this black boat's like protecting the little rocket. That's cute. But Red still has the 20% firepower, 30% from the road, 40% from the road with the cap, 50% rather, because you get the 10% and the bonus. So it'll have 50% from the road, I think, if I calculate that right. 40 something like that. I don't freaking know. He's gonna get a lot of stuff. His time has come. He needs to do damage right now. He's got to use Forced March, or whatever it's called. Forced March, I knew it. Alright, and now Red, the time has come. 1-hit KO from the road. Oofies, that hurts. That's where the comm tower rolls come in advantage. Boom, gets a hit off on that rocket right there. That's 3 damage to a rocket there. That's something to sneeze at right there. That's 1/3 of the rocket's health. That's like, I don't know, 4,500 in damage done by an infantry. That infantry paid for itself 4.5 times over. That's pretty damn good. Doesn't get the 1-hit KO. That might have been a roll. I'm not entirely sure. Definitely 1-hit KO from the road, so he's getting a lot of 1-hit KOs. It was a roll because this one 1-hit KO from over there. Going all in. Boom. Rocket's getting some work over there, I guess. Killing off a bunch of crap over there. Okay, he's going for the HQ now. This is very interesting. This is an all in for Super Potato right here. Yeah, he's not even giving half a shit about this. He's going to give all this up to Green. He's like, you know what? I'm going for the HQ. I'm going for the base lock. Like, I'm in the belly of the beast. There's one base here. There's one base there. There's one base there. I am within 1 turn of 2 of these bases right now. And it's going to be 1 turn of this base over here, especially with the Jake Super coming up. So, he is all in. This is a very tempo-esque attack right here. You're not... It doesn't... Why all the suicidal infantry? Why? Well, that's pretty devastating. But green capped. Now he's even on the capping. Oof, that hurts. Heals up the rockets with a black bow. Cheeky. Notice how this black bow really saved the rocket in artillery. If this black bow wasn't here, he'd have a lot more angles to work with and kill off. This is an infantry, probably one hit KO with a tank on the road. Anything else actually probably close to one hit KO'd on the road. This black bow literally saved the life of this rocket and artillery. That he might owe the defense to that single little black boaty. And this counterattack looks pretty hard. And because he's got 1, 2, 3 tanks to retaliate against all of these units. This one over here, but it doesn't have the movement bonus anymore. And then green's pulling in these other tanks. Building a couple other tanks, just a tank map. You know, Tordred would be loving this map if he played more standard. Triple tanks. Triple tanking it. Let's go. And yeah, so now green is definitely ahead in unit count. 31 to 25. Slightly ahead in unit value. This rocket also feels out of position. Like, I feel like when the super comes, these tanks are gonna blast through whatever there is. There's gonna be some planes. He's gonna have holy shit. When the superpower comes, he's gonna have 2 comm towers, 40% planes bonus. That's 60. Then the power itself gives an additional 10%, 70% firepower bonus from planes. I think that means, like, do tanks one hit KO each other? Like, I think they probably do. It's probably brutal. It's nutty at that point. On like, I didn't realize it ended this early. Okay, well that works. Interesting. Well, that was shorter than I thought. For some reason, I thought this game lasted like 20 turns or something. But yeah, as you can see, basically hammering home, you go in the middle and you're gonna meet the funnel of death. The fatal funnel, I would say. The fatal funnel. A lot more catchy. FF. Fatal funnel right there. I kind of like the rockets. It grew on me. As a person, it grew on me, but you wanted to lock down that comm tower, and it didn't do its job. I like a lot of the sacking that Red did as well. He lost a lot of infantry just sacking. Let's look at some statties over here. Just lost a lot. Deaths, he lost 10 infantry, and he killed 7. So it's not terrible. Whoa, it's glitching like crazy. So, okay, he only lost net 3, but still at the same time, it felt like a lot more of just like dead infantry. I mean, these tanks also weren't part of the death count, but they're pretty much 100% dead. But yeah, I liked Green's approach. Like I said, when you get to a higher level, like, you're more patient capping properties. If you take something away from this video as well, there's a lot of things you can take away from this video. Like I said, it's less of a banger than it's more instructional, but a few things I want to take away. Be more patient with your capping. You don't have to rush to get a cap straight away. Even comm towers, if you feel like you need the 10% right away, like, just chill. Make sure you've secured the area first. Nothing worse than going in and like half-assing a cap. Like, let's say you have 3 infantry and there's 2 infantry here. Instead of attacking 1 and then capping with the other or something like that, or maybe 3 versus 3, just attack all 3 and kill off the units, and then you cap the next turn. Like, it just makes more sense. Like, units are more valuable than properties. Some of you know this, but it's not like driven in your head enough. And I think Green really exemplifies the process of, you know, take your time. He was down 2 comm towers for like the first like 12 turns in the match. And most of the battles happened in those 12 turns, and he turned out fine. And he was about to win. I mean, even if Red pulled back here, like, he's gonna win the sides, and the sides are what matters. So, like, yeah, I mean, it's not all about the caps. That's another thing. And neither of them built mechs. Don't build mechs. That's another thing. In the center, it was dumb. I mean, I guess Green had to kind of counteract with building stuff in the center as well, because Red was, but he was still more focused on the sides than Red was. Even though he built in the center as well as a reactionary measure just to ensure his survival, he still had a lot more pressure on the sides. He had these 2 tanks over here before they shifted. And like I said earlier, you can shift them from the side to the center, but the center to the side, you can't do that because, like, you have to go around here, or you have to go through enemy territory. Around there or through enemy territory to shift over here. But if you come from the sides, from your strong side, you can just swing like that. Very easy. So, if you guys take something home, 3 main things. Reconnaissance, make sure you clear out some units first before you start capping. Don't go cap crazy. Don't go interrupt cap crazy. Like, Red lost a lot of units that he could have used later for unit counts to push a lot more pressure later on. Number 2, don't mech spam on this map. I know you see a mountain, you're like, mountain, mech, need but mech, mountain. No, you're not. You're not a caveman. Well, maybe you're part Neanderthal, but you're not a caveman. So don't do that. And number 3, don't go in the center here. I know that these guys are like way high ranking or whatever, but like, don't do it. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you guys like the standard streak. We're at the standard streak at 3 right now. I'm not sure if we're going to 4 or not. I don't know. I need to see if I get some bangers of games coming up. But I hope you guys enjoyed yourself. I hope you guys learned a lot from this match. And I hope to see you guys next time. Bye.